The Galactic Council chamber fell silent. On the massive holographic display at the center of the room, a single blip appeared on the edge of known space. Admiral Vorix of the Krelthan Empire leaned forward in his seat, his 4 eyes narrowing at the reading. The signal was primitive, radio-based, ancient by interstellar standards. His sensor officer, a thin-limbed Delvari named Quis, ran the scan twice before speaking. "One ship, Admiral. Primitive propulsion. No energy weapons detected. No shielding signatures." Vorix exhaled slowly through his gill slits. The Krelthan Empire had consumed 47 civilizations across 6 star systems. They had never encountered anything that required more than a single orbital bombardment to pacify. One ship from an unknown species was not a threat. It was barely an inconvenience. "Hail them," he ordered. "Then destroy them." The response came immediately. On screen appeared a human male. Broad shoulders. Calm eyes the color of deep ocean water. He wore a simple dark uniform with a single emblem on his chest, a blue marble surrounded by a ring of stars. He looked at the Krelthan fleet of 300 warships the way a man looks at a minor traffic delay. "This is Captain James Harlow of the UES Defiance," he said evenly. "I'm going to ask you once to stand down and withdraw from this sector." Admiral Vorix let out a sound his species used for laughter. His crew joined him. "You have 1 ship," Vorix replied through the translator. "We have 300. What exactly do you believe you will do, human?" Captain Harlow looked down briefly, as if checking something off a list. Then he looked back up. "I'm not here to fight you, Admiral. I'm here to give you a choice." He paused. The last empire that didn't take the choice, well. He tilted his head slightly. "You haven't heard from the Veldorian Dominion lately, have you?" The chamber went quiet. The Veldorian Dominion had vanished from all sensors 14 months ago. Every probe sent to their territory had returned nothing. No debris. No signals. Just silence. Vorix straightened. "Destroy that ship." 200 plasma cannons fired simultaneously. The Defiance didn't move. Didn't evade. The blasts reached the ship's coordinates and stopped. Like water hitting a wall of glass. The energy simply dissipated into nothing, absorbed by something no Krelthan sensor had ever recorded before. Then Captain Harlow spoke again. His voice hadn't changed. "I was hoping you'd do that," he said quietly. "Now they know you're hostile. That makes this easier for everyone." "Who?" Vorix demanded. "Who knows?" Harlow didn't answer. He simply looked upward, a small, deliberate gesture, and cut the transmission. They didn't come from one direction. They came from all directions. Hundreds. Then thousands. Human warships dropping out of fold space from every vector simultaneously, surrounding the Krelthan fleet in a sphere of steel and firepower so vast that Vorix's tactical officer simply stopped reporting numbers. The math had become irrelevant. The ships were enormous, carriers, destroyers, dreadnoughts, each one bearing that same emblem. The blue marble. The ring of stars. And at the center of it all, completely unharmed, sat the Defiance. One ship. The bait. The signal flare. The door that had been deliberately left open. Vorix realized then, with cold and dawning horror, exactly what Captain Harlow had done. He hadn't come to fight. He had come to find them. The battle lasted 11 minutes. Not because humanity was cruel. But because the Krelthan Empire, for all its centuries of conquest, had never once fought an enemy that fought back. Every civilization they had destroyed had been unprepared, isolated, unwarned. Humanity had spent decades warning everyone else. Building alliances quietly. Sharing technology. Preparing. The Defiance had simply been the key that unlocked the door. When the last Krelthan warship powered down its weapons and transmitted surrender, Captain James Harlow opened communications one final time. He looked at Admiral Vorax, defeated, humiliated, ancient pride turned to ash, and his voice carried no triumph. No cruelty. Just the flat, measured tone of a man completing a task. 47 civilizations, Harlow said. We counted. He let that sit for a moment. Nobody else is going to disappear. The transmission ended. The Krelthan Empire ceased to exist before the day was done. And no one, had seen the human fleet coming.